Good afternoon, San Francisco. This is Sean Sunshine Strickland, the Strickleator, also known as the Supergirl of San Francisco, and I have some disturbing and awful news for you. I spent the last 6 months trying to isolate from COVID-19, trying to stay in a place that I knew I had to be in because I had nowhere else to go, and also, on top of everything else, a place that is a spiritual sanctuary that I have been blessed to enjoy. And I've been spending my time making this a real home, working really hard to keep it clean, to keep things right, to take care of the forest, to take care of the land, to take care of the wildlife and be at peace with them, to find a way to get away from the city of so much pain that San Francisco is going through right now. And honestly, this is the only place that I can stay because everything is closed. And there are limited spaces to be had, and there are no shelters right now. There are still no hotel rooms being given or tent sites being given to people who are healthy, regardless of what they're going through. There's no SROs, there's no city help, there's no anything. And so this has become my place to be, even though it resides on federal land. And 50 feet behind me is the land of the city, where the federal government meets the city. And I've been wonderfully at peace here until recently, until I had been robbed 3 days prior and lost a lot of things and have been going through a lot of stress and been hurt in the city. And now I have more pain and suffering to deal with. And the police came here this morning and handcuffed me, and saying that they detained me, put me in the back of their car, started insulting me. The officer who was in charge of the case, and I've met her before, had promised me time and time again after each time that I'd been detained and booked into their system that they would actually help me and give me opportunities for housing. And the first 2 times I thought like they were being serious about it, but they said they called the hot team. The hot team never showed up. No one ever showed up to offer me an alternative, even though I do have money, even though I am an activist and a volunteer, and even though I do work very, very hard at what I do as a Supergirl of San Francisco. And people in the community know that, but they don't. They see me as a criminal. They see me as a bum. They even called me a bum. They say, "Why don't you have a job? You're a bum. I'm tired of your excuses. You don't need to be here. Go get a job. Go do something." And this person doesn't even realize what I do every day. Being an activist and an entertainer is my job. This is my job, to go out and help people. Californians for all, like Governor Gavin Newsom said. And speaking of Governor Gavin Newsom, she literally quoted Gavin Newsom and said, there was some lawsuit, Harris versus the Newsom, and they won the lawsuit, and that means now there's more hotels. And look at this wonderful little hummingbird. This is why I'm here. This is why I created this space. One little tiny space out of all the universe and all of Earth. And this is my sanctuary. This is where I feel at home. And I can't be here because the government says I can't be here. And they say that I'm the evil one. And the hummingbird looks at me and says, "Thank you for the food and the sugar water and the bath." And I can feel their spirit. And they can't feel the spirit of this beautiful little hummingbird. They can't feel it. They don't understand. And they want to rob it from me and take it from me. Just like they did the Ohlone tribe 300 years ago. just like they did to all the indigenous people who ever lived peacefully off of the land, respecting nature for what it is. Look at this beautiful little bird. Look at him. Look at him. He's taking a bath. He appreciates what I did for him. They know. They know. They know what you do for them. They care about you too. And the federal police who work for Trump, who do his little bidding now, had to come and do this to me and say I can no longer be here. Now they're threatening to take it all away, and I have 1 hour left to leave before they come back. And then if I'm not gone, my stuff isn't gone, I'm going to be arrested and put in jail. All because I'm trying to live peacefully in the forest. And there are no campgrounds open that are legal because it's COVID-19. And this is all there is. I have nowhere to go. I have no options. And they want to take everything that I've been building up from me. Just like they did. Just like they do to so many spiritually wonderfully blessed people. So many different indigenous tribes, and now I just can't. My heart is broken right now, and I am so broken. I'm so broken inside. I keep trying so hard, so here's what this lady thinks of me, a criminal and a bum. So let me show you the first citation that they gave me. I can't even talk right now. The first citation is for failure to obtain a permit to camp on Golden Gate Park National Recreational Forest, United States District Court. Failure to obtain a permit to camp, even though you actually can't camp anywhere right now because of COVID-19 legally. Not even campsites, because they're not open. So they gave me the permit for that, or the citation. I'm so lost. I can't even think. And for not having a permit. A second citation from the police, from the federal government of the United States of America, was for, I can't hardly read it, but it says, camping in a non-designated area. That's the second citation. And the third citation is for camping and residing in a federal park for 6 months. Just because I'm here for this longer time. And they said that they know that I've been here all this time. And they picked this moment in time after I've just recuperated to do this. And so, here's the third citation. Here it is. It says, violating conditions ordered by the superintendent of the Golden Gate National Recreational Park. And here's where it gets really bad. This is just basic human stuff that they are trying to criminalize. And I want you to pay attention to this now. This one says, digging up dirt and moving things around in the forest. So basically they're saying, it's hard to read, but it says digging up. They're charging me with a federal crime for making this wildflower garden with the butterflies. This is a federal crime right here. That's a federal crime. To have a little small wildflower garden with a fountain and lavender. And of course up here, right behind me, my zinnias. My Dreamland mixed zinnias. So everything there is what they're citing me for there. That the garden that I made is a crime. Because it's on the government's land. Even though it really doesn't belong to anyone. Even though it's the Ohlone tribe's spirit here. And here's the other citation. This one is for, just like I've been through before with the city, feeding the birds, feeding the wildlife. They cited me for these hummingbird feeders and for the bird feeders with seed. So that is a crime right there. This is a federal crime. That's a federal crime, all right there. And now I have to have a citation for it, which you might think, well, it's going to be community service and it's going to be a lot of other things and fines and fees, which I can't afford, of course. And they always pick on the homeless, by the way. People who are outside. The system is wrong and is broken, and then people don't want to do anything about it. Okay, this is the one that's problematic, and so this is the one for going. This is a crime now too. I was given a citation for pooping and peeing in the forest. So going to the bathroom because there's nowhere to go because the porta potties that were really rather sort of close were closed and locked for COVID-19. And they only recently opened them, so I had to go here. So now I'm a criminal because I had to pee in the forest. Now I'm a criminal for using number 2 in the forest. Even though we did that before we had porta potties and bathrooms, even though that wasn't a crime then, now peeing in the forest is a crime. That really makes me so much angry. Wouldn't you? So you might think, well, that stuff probably not going to be too serious, but here's the bad part. Possession of marijuana. And this is where they took the cannabis and confiscated everything, the pen, the cannabis, all of it. And they were laughing about it as they were doing it. And they were laughing. Like it was funny somehow. And now they've charged me with possession of marijuana. In a federal forest. And even though it's legal in the state of California, and even though cannabis and marijuana is legal in the city of San Francisco, and it's not a crime at all, period, to carry it around with you in the city and county of San Francisco, or the state actually, but because this is federal land which is run by Trump, that's now somehow a crime. And this is going to put me in jail. I'm going to have to go to jail because I had cannabis in my possession on federal land. And I'm sure that when I have to go to court, that's what they'll do. They'll sentence me to time in jail for trying to be at peace. Trying to have some serenity. Even though marijuana is a wonderful, blessed plant that comes from the spirit world, they don't see it that way. Look at you. And then we have 2 hummingbirds. This is so wonderful. I've had like 4 hummingbirds that have come here and made a home for themselves, and they spend their time with me. There's some stellar jays that are up here. There's a dragonfly flying over me right now. This really is a blessed place. And right here in this very sky, I really did, for honest to goodness, have a close encounter of the third kind. And ever since that day, I've been awake. I have been woke in so many ways. Woke so much to know that everything that the government just did to me now is wrong. And they think that I'm the villain here in the story. I am not the villain. They are. For enforcing such laws like that. For saying that somehow being here is wrong. And that everything that I'm doing, which is just existing, is a crime. And everything that I'm doing to create serenity is a crime. And now I have to face the music, and I have to go in front of court, in front of a judge, and you may not see me in a while. I may be gone for a long time. And I have about an hour left of peace here before the cleaning crew comes back to clean my stuff. And I'm going to have to leave a lot of it behind because I don't have enough. I brought my cart with me just by chance, and I won't be able to take everything with me. And I'll never be able to see this again, this little dance. I'll never be able to experience this joy for a long time. That's what you're taking from me. You're taking my serenity. You're stealing my joy. Because the government says so. Because the government says so. Just human beings telling other human beings that they can't be where they need to be to have peace. And that's all I have to say about that. I wish you well. And I leave you with this wonderful bird.